was singing through the Psalms. I'm going to try and do another one really quickly while the house is empty. I'm going to be looking at Psalm 45, the wedding song. I interrupt the regularly scheduled programming for this special announcement. The YouTube video was too long and I had to cut out the Bible reading. So at this point in the video, if you could pause the video, go get your own Bible and read Psalm 45 and come back and watch the rest of the video. That would be wonderful. We will now return to our regularly scheduled programming. Thank you. Now, this was written probably for one of Solomon's weddings, but it's also a prophetic psalm, and I chose to write it in the prophetic about Jesus and his bride, the church. And I'm going to go through a couple of things here, because I believe, as I was writing this, it really struck me that we need this now. We need to hear this and remember this, both as individual Christians and as the church as a whole. We need this. The odor of aromatic incense is upon you. The footnote here, the text reads aloes and cassia. Both are equated with the anointing spice, the incense burned in the holy place. And I have figured out, as I'm reading through various things, that anything that refers to the temple, the mercy seat, the Holy of Holies, the incense, the lamps, anything that refers to the inner sanctuary of the temple and its inner sanctuary, actually refers to God's presence, because that was their only experience of God's actual presence, was the Holy of Holies. And so in my song, I have the scent of God's presence comes forth from your robes. And that comes from the idea of the incense, which was there where God's presence was. It was always there where God's presence was. From the pure and shining palace, lovely music that makes you glad is played for your pleasure. The footnote there is, or from the ivory palaces. This is an obvious reference to the holy place, as our high priest Jesus comes from the chamber of glory to be with us. The word ivory is taken from a Hebrew word for white and glistening. And in the final edition of this song, angels sing for your pleasure. That's where I get that. Verse 10, now listen, daughter, pay attention and forget about your past. Put behind you every attachment to the familiar, even those who once were close to you. So in my mind, this is, as the church, as individual Christians in the New Testament, this is the old life and the new life. And the old life was crucified with Christ, and we now live with the new life. The old life is buried. And when we try to deal with the old life, we are, as one teacher says, we're trying to resurrect it. And that's not our purpose. The old life is dead and buried, and when we are tripped up by the old life, we say, no, that's dead and buried. I am living in the new life. Lord, show me how to walk in my new life that overcomes this issue. So I have, as a bride and as Christ's bride, we leave the old life behind and walk in the new life, and the new life is so much better. So I have that concept in here. O lovely bride, you were chosen by him. Your old life is gone. So we celebrate that. The old life is gone. Verse 11. I love verse 11 in this translation. For your royal bridegroom is ravished by your beautiful brightness. Bow in reverence before him, for he is your Lord. This to me speaks of mutual honor. He is smitten, God-smacked, wrapped around her baby finger, and she doesn't abuse that. She honors him. And so we have a mutual honoring coming together. And to me, that's lovely. In other translations, it sounds almost violent. So I really like this translation. It shows in a true marriage, we should have mutual honoring of each other. And to me, that's what this verse speaks of. Christ is smitten by his bride. He is ravished. He is gobsmacked by his bride, and we honor him. He loves us so much. Oh, wedding presents pour in from those of great wealth. The royal friends of the bridegroom shower you with gifts. Lovely and stunning, she leads the procession. What a grand, majestic entrance. All right, not too long ago, we had a royal wedding across the pond. And if you even mildly follow anything of the royals, you know that whenever they go out, even if it's just to see a new exhibit in the museum, the crowds come in and they have to put up barricades, and everybody is trying to give them gifts and catch their eye. Just to have their eye glance at them is so exciting for people and so honoring for them. And for their wedding, everybody gives them gifts. The people give them gifts. Other royalty, the stars, the billion, gifts are pouring in. The point is not the gifts. The point is not the crowds. The point is not the gifts. The point is the groom joining with the bride and the bride joining with the groom. And so I have that in here. Even though the groom has all this honor, the bride is his joy. She is your joy. You will honor her as your chosen bride. Her strength is your pride. Mutual honoring here. In honor, she'll stand by your side. And for her, gifts are laid at your feet, but you fix your eyes on the groom, for he is your greatest prize. His strength is your pride. In power, he'll stand by your side. The two joined as one. Oh, I got goosebumps as this song started coming together. Oh, it was wonderful. Unfortunately, in this last edition, the last two verses didn't make it in. They ended up being cut. The closest we have is the two joined as one, then peace extends to everyone. Together you stand, spreading joy throughout the land. That's the closest we get to your sons will one day rule like their father. But with church, we have to remember that. We are meant to rule. Not, doesn't mean that I am someday going to be, CEO of a company or Prime Minister of Canada or whatever. But we are meant to rule in life. And at some point, when Jesus comes for the bride and we are in mutual honor, the world will see that, and the world will come to us and be encouraged. We are meant to build each other up so that we can be a beautiful bride for Christ, to be honored and to co-reign with him. And this word is not just for Solomon. It's not just for the early church. It's not just for the modern church, and it's not just for the future church. It's for all of it. All of it. And we have to remember that.
This story is sacred and bold, the story that has to be told. It's bubbling up from my very soul. You're beautiful.